but that price point does sort of push you into the territory of why am I not just building a PC?
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, we got plenty of salt from the Mount Rushmore of salt, as I like to say, as we all like to say, right? In regards to the PlayStation 5 Pro and what that has come down to be. Jealousy, saltiness, you name it. You could put it in a category of all sorts of things. So, as you just seen, we have some more to go over with everything in regards to PS5 Pro and then some. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is jump right to the salt. We're going to go right off the cuff of what you just seen from Destin Legary, aka also known from IGN and other shenanigans. He has his own boring channel, stuff like that. Not that I'm trying to dunk on it, but it's just true, because this is why. This is why. And then you can't take these guys seriously. So let's pop it up right now on the cusp of it, like I'm saying. He posts just not too long ago, right? Not too long ago. The idea of an 8K PS5 Pro in 2023 sounds ridiculous to me. Both consoles rarely do native 4K, and we're jumping to 8K in 2 years? With a widely known semiconductor shortage? Hell nah. Because, yeah, first of all, just a quick dissection here, because Destin Legary is the first you go to when you think of the phrase or wording of hell nah. No. Anyways, that aside, so he's already disingenuous there, right? He's all against it, right? We're not done there. He then, of course, posts, was the PS5 Pro reveal $700 exciting or a dud for you? Of course, has a quick survey, right? Not many stating exciting, most of them saying dud, 89%, as you can see. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because there's a lot of Xbox fanboys out there that are also very salty and don't like the PS5 Pro. So I wonder if this is skewed in any way, shape, or form. It's kind of like me being a PlayStation Pro-centric channel, and we're going to be shocked if I do something Pro PlayStation versus Xbox. I'll be the first to admit we're probably going to get a little bit of a skewer for that, but that's most channels. But that's why I think it's kind of ridiculous, especially with somebody like Destin who has a larger following like that. It's like, what do you expect is going to happen? He knew why he was posting that survey, more salt. But let's keep going here. So he continues. It was very nice of PlayStation to announce they won't have any games this year, so we could all save the money and be ready for the PS5 Pro, am I right? Again, disregarding any timed exclusive content, I didn't realize that we're so tied down to first party only, that if there's not 10 to 15 first party games that are just killer, which, where's Xboxes by the way, that's games are now available pretty much everywhere, what is the point? Like, we've always had third party content, it hasn't always been first party. We can go back to the early days of Nintendo or Super Nintendo and Sega and all that stuff. Why is it always a matter of fact it has to be, like I said, 5 to 10 first-party AAA games? That's not going to happen, especially not in this day and age. But I digress. Let's keep going here, because to cap it all off, ladies and gentlemen, like you've seen in that quick video in the beginning, PlayStation 5 Pro successfully pre-ordered and shows his proof of doing so. So all this hate, saltiness, and everything like that. Now, I love all the defenders that come into play here, because I did post this on social media as well. And they come out stating, well, it's his job. It's his job to do this and to compare. And I'm like, no, his job is to hate. He's not required to do so. He does not have a breakdown in regards to something like what Digital Foundry would do, right? You're breaking down the frame rates and this and that. You can have your own experience. I get it. It's a free world, free country kind of thing. But in regards to it has to be something he gets, I'm sorry, but if I'm down talking or saying something is certainly not worth it, I'm not going to go out and get it regardless. This channel right now is not one of those where I'm comparing console to console at the moment. I'm not showing frames per frames. I'm not showing value versus value in regards to that in real time. I can talk about subscription services. I can talk about that. That is tangible. This sort of thing, if I truly despise something, it's just going to sit there and collect dust, whether or not I can write it off as taxes or whatever the case is, which I still don't know how to do all of that stuff. But regardless, if that happens to be the case, just to downplay, and you're still giving the sales. So something that you don't believe in, according to all his stuff and what he's leaning towards. Doesn't believe in the product, doesn't believe in the Pro at all. But you're going to, whether or not, if this thing was free, it was gifted, somebody somewhere is purchasing it, adding to the numbers. Do we understand how that works and how ridiculous it is? So moral of the story here, I was showing all the deaths and stuff, is he's somebody who has a large following, right? And he's disingenuous. You can't trust him. He's lying. He's back talking. The hype, the FOMO might be real. Who knows? But the engagement farming, there's a billion different reasons why he probably got it or whatever the case is. But we all know deep down the saltiness with him is real, and the misinformation continues from him, and the swerves continue as well. But folks, we're not done. We'll go back to the PS5 Pro in just a moment here, but let's shift over our focus to the great Kareem Jovian that decided to unblock everybody on social media so he can continue his engagement farming and get that money via his blue check mark on there, if you're unfamiliar with how that works.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Now, per Dexerto, right? God of War gameplay looks like a movie. Not meant to be a bad thing necessarily, right? He chimes in, of course, Kareem. That's the problem. We want games to look like games again. Pardon me, what? What? Then he goes, as you can see here, in the past here, and goes, the combat is visceral in Hellblade 2. And it's not in God of War Ragnarok or God of War 2018. I don't know what you're trying to compare here. Also, 1 is probably 3 to 4 times longer than Hellblade 2. So, I trying to dissect. Trying to make games look like games again. Are you meaning you want them to go back to the 8-bit or 16 or even 32-bit era? What are we trying to do? Do you want to see more button prompts on the screen, flashiness? Do you want some more cartoony type of stuff? Do you want some boinks and bonks for the sound effects? I don't know what you're doing. Wait a minute, I do know what you're doing. Engagement farming, trying to throw that swerve as well. And then to sit there and compare it to Hellblade 2. A 5-hour, basically, walking simulator. And that's the true case of a walking simulator for the most part. I know there's probably even more walking simulator narrative-based games, especially in the past. I know of them, of course. We don't need to bring that up. In regards to comparing, if I trip over my tongue here, but the fact of the matter remains here, he's bringing up Hellblade 2, the subject matter at hand here, right? Kind of crazy. The saltiness is real, trying to any sort of dig, but he's moved on to PC, by the way, but he's still clearly very much so a pro Xbox dude. He's just trying in his mind to transition. He's trying to change the fact of all the Xbox fans like, come on over to PC, we can still support Xbox and their games, and we can claim this as an Xbox win, it's an Xbox ecosystem. All the delusion, all the narrative shifting, the goalpost moving, you name it, it's there. But let's continue to go here because we got more examples. So just a quick throw in here, which is great. So we got the Catfish, aka Joseph Cruz, aka Andrea Piccinini. That happens to be the introduction for them every time because there's a lot of folks out there that don't know this individual still putting on a front that they are a female for some reason. I don't know why when it's a dude, right? So anyways, seeing Sony throw $400 million to the toilet plus $3.6 billion in Bungie makes me extremely happy, delighted, and utterly satisfied. Well deserved with a bunch of cat crying emojis. I mean, do we see some Easter eggs here from them or some whatever? And then, of course, heart eye emojis. So trying to wallow in the fact that throwing around misinformation, it has come out that it's not been anywhere near 400 million budget in regards to what they're referring to as Concord, that failed IP at this point in time. And then, of course, acting like Bungie was a waste of money. And at this point in time, possibly could have been. We'll see what happens with them in the long run. We know there's some troubles with Marathon and stuff like that, possibly as well. So some truth to this as well. But the fact remains the saltiness that they love to see any sort of an L from PlayStation or Sony in regards to their financials, in regards to any W's or L's. They just love it, right? So that's what makes their day not gaming, not supporting their platform, not talking up their platform without spreading misinformation, of course. They have to sit there and wallow in the fact that, at least PlayStation didn't hit a home run this time. So that makes me feel better. No, you should actually be really concerned if you do want Xbox as a hardware console to stay around, because we might get one more generation of them in some sort, whether that be the handheld or whatever the case is. but that doesn't guarantee anything. We all know they're moving towards third party. That's what you should really be worried about at this point in time. 5 years ago, you could live in your own delusional land and try to pretend that Game Pass was going to be the next greatest thing and would save Xbox. I knew that wouldn't be the case. It's not the case. It won't be the case. All that and above. But let's continue here before we leave more time on the catfish here. And Anna Anson, the leader that soloed FTC, CMA, Amazon, Google, Apple, Sony, Nintendo, and Jimbo. So proud of Sarah. Now, I'm kind of confused here. This is where the information comes in, right? Where the information comes in. I don't know how Sarah soloed anything that he mentioned there. I really don't. Because A, let's say there was some positives out of this. Sarah has a big team behind her. Has a lot of people moving around those pieces and parts. Soloed means that she just flat out won in a way that it shut down those other companies and made them irrelevant. And the last time I saw FTC, CMA, Amazon, Google, Apple, Sony, Nintendo, Jimbo are not irrelevant, or weren't irrelevant, or whatever the case is. I don't know where the W is coming from here. Do you see how these guys need therapy? This really, I think the big magnum opus is going to be the documentary of the Xbox fanboys here, because we need to delve into this, guys. It's on a bucket list. It's on a goal of sorts, right?
Come on, man.
For me to find, if it's not me, somebody has to make this. It's just absolutely insanity. It's dying loyalty brand to the nth degree. You name it. But let's continue here. Just bookmark that, all right? So we have somebody doing it if it's not me. But let's continue here. A stall here. This is what I love here personally, because they put their foots in their mouth. So as you can see, okay, I just got new intel. Now I can say it will come to Xbox 100%, basically. Cool eyeglass emojis. Final Fantasy VII Remake Xbox Series. They thought for sure, especially this was happening at the recent Tokyo Game Show. That did not happen. They ended up getting Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters, so good job. Those are great games. Those are not going to Game Pass, so hopefully they buy those games and support those games, because the more you support JRPGs, the more you support any Final Fantasy game from Square Enix, whether it be the Visions of Mana, Legend of Mana, the Mana series, anything under the banner for Square Enix, the better it is going to be for your ecosystem. So maybe you should do that. But I do love the fact they keep stating, and what intel does a stall have? They don't have that big of a following, maybe 5K followers on social media, which isn't super astounding for as long as they've been around and spreading their misinformation. That's how they garner followers, by spreading misinformation like this. But again, alas, it did not happen. Will it happen in the future? I don't know for sure. Square Enix is their own beast. They'll do what they want. If it thinks will make some money or additional money after it's been sitting on another platform for a certain amount of time. But you love to see their delusion here. You love to see them fall on their face and for things to continue to not happen due to them putting their foot in their mouth, due to them falsifying misinformation. So there you have it. Gotta love that. Now, Mr. Catfish, this is exactly what I love to see, is when you guys make up information and you fall flat on your face. But let's continue here. Now, to wrap things up here. Dreamcast guy. Now, what I find interesting, I don't feature Dreamcast guy that much on this channel. But we all know he's a grifter. He's kind of basically mentioned multiple times that he's been a grifter. Not outright, but he's led to hints and stuff like that. And then it's just flat out stuff like this. So as you can see from one of his latest videos, don't buy this. Do not buy the PS5 Pro, he states. Later on, when the PS5 Pros were going live, he has let me in as he's trying to purchase a PS5 Pro here. So why would he create a video stating don't buy this? Now, he could spin things and start making things up like, well, again, it's for me. I'm a content creator. I'm doing the comparisons. This is for you guys. I don't want you guys to waste your money on this. This is for me to find out. And then after hands-on, I may make a video stating it is worth it. It's great. Here's the value. This might work for you if and or all that stuff. But ultimately, it doesn't look good. It makes you look like a grifter. Instead of making a video stating, look guys, I have concerns on this, being honest, stating I might purchase this. I'll look for it on my channel if I can get a hold of it. I'm going to go over some things there and I'll share some honest opinions and thoughts with you guys, all that stuff. But no, we have to grift. We have to have the titles. Don't buy the PS5 Pro. Don't buy this in the thumbnail. All this stuff. Talk it down. Do you see where the misinformation comes from? Do you see in this regards, do you see the grifting, right? And that's what's unfortunate is you know, we can't trust, and I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on here, it's just the truth. When it comes especially to gaming media, right? You can't trust a lot of these guys. You can't trust sites anymore like IGN. You can't trust any other site, GameSpot, Kotaku, stuff like that. They have opinion pieces or not opinion pieces that they're touted as fact when it's not, and they have an agenda behind it, or you know, who knows? There's a lot of reasons behind it, right? But you can clearly tell in this day and age that nobody is genuine anymore when it comes to gaming media. And now we have, additionally, we used to go to content creators, right? To look at them. And again, I used to sub to this guy, I used to watch his stuff. And then one day it just kind of just dawned on me, right? That I was just like, this guy is just so back and forth. Like it just clear as day out of nowhere, right? I should have known beforehand, but out of nowhere, it was like, he's so back and forth. I can't take anything he says to heart. I can't take anything he says as factual or truth, even if it is opinion based, because he's so back and forth. And everybody has slip ups. Everybody may, you know, kind of predict certain things and then you can walk it back. And that happens. No one's perfect. I get it. But it's a continual thing with a lot of content creators, especially with Dreamcast Guy. That's unfortunate because when the gaming media is so biased or whatever agenda they have going on, right? It's in misinformation that they're, stating or spouting off, right? That's the problem. That's the problem we have. Now, so we go and lean towards content creators like Dreamcast Guy or others, right? And then you look at it and you see, just pay attention to their content. Are they back and forth? Are they staying consistent? If they're not, and it's like Dreamcast Guy where it's back and forth all the time on a good chunk of their videos or series, you need to take a step back and realize, look, I can't trust this guy. You have to kind of do your own research to that point. You know what I mean? And just really look into it because you can't rely on gaming media in general for the journalists. We can't do it anymore. That's just a fact. And then number two, with the content creators, you have to be very careful. Look into it. I know it's more work, but you have to look into it. Just pay attention to their content and see if they're doing that back and forth, like I stated multiple times at this point, but just really pay attention. And then, of course, follow up yourself with some facts, no matter how you're researching. I know it's a pain to do it. That's why you want to rely on a quick video where they can just do that, right? You look at them. Here's a 5 to 10 minute video. This is what they're talking about, and there we go. I think I agree with what they say, and I'm going to go ahead and lean in one direction or the other, right? Simple as that. But now we have to take it a step further and do even further research. Things aren't as convenient as it should be with technology and as ease of use of content creation as it is nowadays. But that's just the fact of the matter. So it's unfortunate that we see stuff like that. Wanted to end the video right there, of course, because I thought they were great examples of people double talking, double speaking, stuff like that. But that being said, I appreciate everybody sticking around for this video. Just a tad bit longer than normal, I think. And but I appreciate a lot of stuff to go over, a lot of information too as well, right? So appreciate that. Every like, comment, would love to hear from you down below. Also helps out the algorithm. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. I really do appreciate that. On top of that, as always, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.